Hi everyone, welcome to Cache Walks.
We're outside a pine forest in Rotorua, only metres away from where GC45 was hidden 20 years ago. It's the first geocache in New Zealand and the first one outside the United States.
And we're here to celebrate the tribute plaque.
Come and see how the event goes.
A week before the event, we headed out through the countryside early on a Saturday morning, following behind G2's ute, heading for the rest area near where Peter McKellar had hidden GC45 20 years ago. Chris, FMZ, and Mike, Gorbachev, headed through the pine trees to where they had decided on a previous visit the plaque should be placed. There was much discussion about the best location and the problem of the blackberries. Glenn, G2, suggested it might be better in the ferns, hidden away a little like a geocache. More discussion followed, and then more discussion. Finally it was decided it should go in the ferns.
Checks were made as to the direction of the original cache's location.
So it's all, because we're under trees, it's all much for muchness here, It doesn't really matter if we move around.
G2 began the hard work. Chris had placed the plaque in a concrete block in preparation for it going in the ground. The plaque looked good encased in its concrete block. Chris, FMZ, had the honour of the first dig. It proved rather difficult getting through a layer of tree roots at the surface. He needed to resort to using a grubber. The fantail called in for a quick look at all the fuss being made in her usually quiet forest.
Then Gorby and G2 had a go. Paul from the Curious Kiwis and I finished it off. With the soil cleared away, it was time to pour the concrete. The plaque was brought over and carefully placed so it faced GC45, 48 metres away to the east.
See that side needs a little bit more dirt.
Good. Chris took a photo of the geocoins with the plaque, then everyone took a photo.
Cool. Hang on.
Job completed. We covered it up, ready for unveiling in a week's time.
And now it's the day of the event for unveiling the plaque and also the new virtual geocache. So come and have a look at this.
Cars started arriving at least an hour before the event started. The car park filled up fast. Gorby's cafe was organised and ready. Peter McKellar and his family joined in. The speeches began when everybody arrived.
As many of you know, I'm FMZ, Funky Monkey Zone. I knew the history of this cache for a long time, that it was the first in New Zealand and the first outside of the US. But it became quite clear to me, talking to people in the community, in the early days, a lot of people sort of realised this cache had been here, but they didn't actually really realise the significance of it, that it actually was the first in the world outside of the US. We've got a couple of surprises today. One of them's coming up at midday, and one of the other one is standing right next to me. So this gentleman here, this here is Peter McKellar. He is responsible for putting GC45 in place 20 years ago. So yeah, really pleased he could come along. He's going to say a couple of words. But yeah, so this is the pioneer that brought the sport out of the USA to New Zealand and basically put this rather significant spot on the map. So I'll sort of pass it over to you, Peter.
Well, thank you very much, Chris. Thank you, and congratulations to everyone here who does geocaching. I haven't done any for a long, long time. So, you know, I think you're the people who, and the idea is to bring the idea of geocaching. I think it's always to get people to places they wouldn't otherwise go. You know, would you ever bother to stop here? And I have to apologise for the place. So I think if I'd known what's going to happen, I would have picked a better spot. And I did put it in a blackberry bush, but I wasn't quite as mean as you think I was, because it was quite a good track going in there and another one going along that way. And I just found this blackberry, and you could quite easily get to it in those days. But in the end, I think the moral of the story for everyone is just be careful what you post on the internet, because it might go and bite you on the bum 20 years later. Thank you.
This is all that remains of GC45, just the lid. GPS treasure hunt.
Because there's lots of complaints about how cold it is. I did arrange for it not to rain today, but I couldn't make any deal on the temperature, so it was like, at least it's dry.
Hey, it's nicer than when I first put it in.
Oh, well, there you go.
And if I waited for better weather, I wouldn't have been the first.
Exactly. So let me just check the time. We haven't talked for long enough, but that's okay. In about 10 minutes there'll be another surprise happening. Presumably there'll be some people around here with notifications on their phones, so you'll probably hear a bunch of beeps happen, and that will sort of signify a time for us to go for a little stroll in that direction, and we'll go look for something interesting and new.
The notification for the new virtual came through, and we all headed off to claim the first to find.
Well done.
Chris brought along his friends Bruce and Gary, and Boney Bruce was particularly keen to have his photo taken to claim the virtual.
We've got a couple of things that you can purchase. We've got replica coins of the Plaque, and these are a 1/4 scale replica of the Plaque on the front with some writing on the back that talk about the history of GC45. And for the true collectors, we've actually got full-size 2.3 kilogram bronze plaques that you can purchase as a collector set.
Hi, I'm Agazo. I'm from Takaneti, and I want to give a lot of thanks to Chris for setting up this plaque and getting it installed. Took a lot of work, I know.
Hi, we are NZ Kites, John and Janice from Tauranga, and we're really pleased to attend this event today, and we think that putting the plaque here is a fantastic idea.
Hi, I'm Ross from Rosmar, from the Bay of Plenty. We're just out here to do just try and find this new plaque, which is really excellent that Chris has decided to recognise the 20th anniversary by placing this plaque. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Hi, it's Nicholas here, the curator as the reviewer, and also Riser 5. Came down all the way from Whangarei, well, I came down last night into Auckland and got down to Rotorua just for this event. I think it's really awesome to see that there's a plaque been put here, and Funky Monkey's own Chris and the whole team that got around to organising it. It's really awesome. I'm really pleased to be here, and I got one of the gold coins myself. I'm really happy to be here at this event.
We interviewed Chris, FMZ, about a week ago to find out how it all came about. Well, we're here with Chris today, and most of you will know him as FMZ. And Chris is the person who put the plaque out. It was his idea, and it's down to his hard work that it's there, and we can all enjoy it. And he's very kindly said that he'd answer a few questions about it. So Chris, where did the idea come from in the first place to put out the plaque?
Well, for a long time I knew the history of GC45, that it was the first cache in New Zealand, but speaking to a lot of other geocaches in New Zealand, I came to realise that not very many others actually knew that GC45 was the first in New Zealand and the first outside of the USA. Yes. A lot of them thought that GC46 and Wainuiomata was the first. Yeah, that actually came a little bit later. So that's really where it came from. I thought we kind of needed to celebrate this sort of pioneering position that New Zealand has in the worldwide history of the sport.
Well, we had only heard about it about 3 years ago, didn't we? I don't know, I was talking to you or somebody, so it was a bit of a surprise. And what was surprised was that it was the first outside the United States. I didn't realise that until just recently.
Yeah, it was actually the 9th cache in the world, just 9 days after the very first one.
Yes, yeah, that's good. And how did you go about actually making it?
So that was quite a long process. First of all, we had to go through an approval process, and we talked to various authorities like the council. We went through to the owners of the land that GC45 was on. That's and also the company that runs the forest, to try and get permission to have the plaque there. We weren't able to put the plaque actually where GC45 was because it is a working forest. There's health and safety issues, not to mention about 40 metres of blackberry bush that you have to get through.
Huge amount there.
Yeah. But eventually we went to NZTA, where the plaque is actually situated, and it was a process to go back and forth to explain what we were going to do, and to get that approval, but they were very good. They were very easy to deal with, and we got a good result.
Yes, yeah. And actually getting the plaque made, like where was it made?
It was made in China, which is where all the geocoins are made as well. In fact, we got it made by the same people as the geocoin. So the plaque and the geocoin that we got made at the same time have exactly the same design on the front.
Yeah, that's a nice idea, I think, having it match.
Yeah, absolutely, and that was Obviously, COVID-19 came along and put a bit of a spanner in the works. So we originally intended to have the plaque in New Zealand and installed before May the 12th, which was GC45's 20th birthday. But yes, lots of issues with manufacturing in China when they had the COVID-19 issue over there. And so, we were delayed quite a lot. And then, of course, it hit us here in New Zealand as well. Once they'd actually got the plaque built, it took just 3 days to get from China to New Zealand, which I was very surprised about. And I had a big box of plaque and coins and stuff all turn up, and it was, fantastic.
We're still waiting for our part tags. We ordered 6 months ago. Factory's all shut.
Big backlog.
Yeah, nice. And how did you go around funding this? Because the plaque would have been reasonably expensive, I would have thought.
It was an expensive exercise, but it's something I guess that I had just wanted to do. So I put my own money into it. Obviously, we've got the coins, and you've seen them.
Lovely.
We've got the coins for sale, and that I suppose is a way that we can try and get the community to join in and be part of the history and help fund it.
Well, it's nice having a little miniature of the plaque. So maybe everyone can help a little bit, help cover the cost a bit. Yeah, good. And if someone wants to purchase coins, Chris, how do they go about doing that?
They just need to go to www.geocoins.nz, and the coins are available there.
Okay. We'll put that link on the end of our video so that people can find it easily.
Great.
Good. Well, thank you very much for talking to us, and thanks very much for all the effort you've done to put that lovely plaque out there, because it's a special thing and a special event for geocaching in New Zealand.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Well, this brings us to the end of this very important geocaching event. We hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.
And don't forget to go geocaching.